Oh, what's up, everybody? My name is OMGWTF, LOL, FTWBRB. Welcome back to more WWE vs. TEW, the weekly series where we take the events and shows, the WWE books, run them in the game, and see just how well the WWE does against TEW, or if Total Extreme Wrestling will be the company to bring the WWE down to its knees. We are booking the July 9th edition of Monday Night Raw main event, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins, with a little bit of a stipulation that I'm sure you guys can see or might know if you've already seen Raw, but we'll get to it when we get to it in the show. I would like to apologize ahead of time. It is raining outside, and, well, you guys might be able to hear the rain. The window is open, and there's another reason why the window is open, because, well, I'm smoking, so I need the window open to blow the smoke out, but you guys might hear the rain, you know. Details, who gives a damn? Let's just run this show, shall we? Show opens up with a 58 C- as we get a recap on the Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley feud, recapping at what the two have said to each other about, you know, Roman being the guy, Lashley saying that, you know, you're only the guy because I'm left, pretty much. The whole tag team stuff with the revival, so on and so forth. Then we lead to yet another C-, this time a 56 C-. Right before, well, I guess the show is kind of already started. I was going to say right before the show begins, but I guess before Roman Reigns can, you know, he's walking towards the entryway before he can actually enter out, you know, into the arena. Bobby Lashley confronts him, and he pretty much tells Roman that if you're going to call me out, then call me out. I dare you to. See what happens. And good stuff, to be honest. I loved it. It was even though you know it's wrestling and you know it's WWE and you know everything's predetermined and all that, it was like one of those moments that was so different that it makes you like think just for a moment like, that's good stuff, that's good heel heat. It doesn't make you think it's real, because I mean, I don't know. To me, the only time you think things are like real is when, like, for instance, when Roman Reigns confronted Vince McMahon and like Shane McMahon when they were backstage and Vince had the headset on. That to me blurs the line. This doesn't really blur the line, but it's good heat. It's a good storyteller where, you know, it makes it feel like it's not just a part of the show. This is real life, that these two don't like each other. And Bobby, knowing Roman's going to be going out there first, straight up tells him, if you're going to call me out, then do it, because I'm going to beat your ass pretty much. And I really liked it. Again, my favorite feud going on in WWE right now. And today helps a lot, too. Lashley is getting better at his gimmick as well. We then jump into a 67 C+ rating here as Roman Reigns comes out to the ring, and he does exactly what Lashley told him to do, and he calls him out, and Bobby Lashley comes out, and what happens? The two start to fight. We get a big old brawl between Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, and to be completely fair here, Bobby Lashley was kind of like beating up Roman for majority of the beatdown. Anyone else notice that? Roman got like very little in this beatdown. Bobby was the one pretty much getting all the offense in. And it really wasn't towards the end when Roman Reigns was alone in the ring where he decided to, you know, do the suicide dive over the top rope to pretty much land on top of everybody, including Bobby Lashley. During this whole beatdown, Kurt Angle comes out and he tries to get them to stop, telling them, you know, save it for Sunday, which Extreme Rules is this Sunday. This leads to a bunch of Raw guys coming out, people like Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, The Constable, Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, Titus O'Neil, Titus Worldwide probably. Authors of Pain were out there. Zack Ryder, I think I saw. Chad Gable was there. Bunch of people all together. None of these guys are rated except for Finn Balor and Constable Baron Corbin, and they're only rated because Finn Balor actually took a shot at Baron Corbin during all this. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to rate him. In fact, I wasn't going to feature both of them on here because it would have, you know, progressed their feud, but because Finn Balor hit Corbin, I decided I'd add it on there. It ends with, of course, you know, everybody being pulled apart. Roman Reigns, like I said, he's in the ring by himself, decides to jump over it, doing like the whole front flip or suicide dive. I don't think it was a front flip. Onto Bobby Lashley and everybody, and I guess, you know, standing tall as he leaves. Announcing quality helped, gave it a boost. Crowd was hot. Kurt's storyline with Stephanie advanced, mostly because Corbin was there, I guess. Baron Corbin and Finn Balor's storyline advanced, and the Roman Reigns Bobby Lashley storyline not only advanced, but gained heat. Much needed heat. 43, solid D, as we see Alexa Bliss, the current Raw Women's Champion, and Mickie James reacting to what just happened between Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. And then Alexa Bliss throws it out there that, you know, it's nothing going to be compared to what we do in a few minutes to, you know, Nia Jax and Natalya, pretty much, because coming up next, tag team action will be Bliss and James versus Jax and Natalya. And this lost heat for the feud, unfortunately, for Alexa Bliss, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Ronda, not Natty. 74 B minus as we jump back to Bobby Lashley, who's still out there, just, hyping up his, well, not really hyping. He's not talking at all. It's just showing him kind of, I guess, selling his injuries or whatever. He looks angry that, Roman Reigns got one over on him, even though I would consider it more Roman Reigns got lucky. What is this? Oh, a new gimmick? Yeah, I guess we can complete the gimmick. Why the hell not? Give him his geek gimmick, since that's pretty much what Zack Ryder is. Got a rating of average. That's the first time we've used Zack Ryder since we've started this series. You know that guy, right? That's funny. 35 E+ rating as we hype up the fact that coming up next, Nia Jax and Natalya team up to take on the team of Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. 68 C+ as we get a recap of what we just saw between Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley, the brawl to open up the show. 37 D- as we hype up Extreme Rules, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship in an Extreme Rules match. And then we jump into our tag team match, opening match of the night. 47 solid D rating here. And a poor matchup, Nia Jax and Natalya go over Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in 6 minutes, 39 seconds after Nia Jax defeated Mickie James. I forget what she hit her with. Never mind, I remember. It was a leg drop. The only reason I remember is because it wasn't the Samoan drop, so I kind of made a note of that, but it was the leg drop she pinned her with this time. Alexa Bliss seemed off her game. That's unfortunate, considering you are, the Raw Women's Champion, and I'd like you to be considered the best here, but that's fine. Corey Graves and Coach have pretty good chemistry. I believe we already knew that. Announcing helped this match. Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, both with a 39 in-ring performance. Natalya with the best in-ring performance of the match with a 43. Nia Jax with the weakest of a 38. No worker improvements. 40 D- as after the match is over, Alexa Bliss immediately right after the match is over takes a kendo stick, Singapore cane, call it what you like, takes it right to the back of Nia Jax, beats her down with it, even hits Natalya, as Natty tries to get in there. And she goes back to Nia Jax, but Nia is able to catch the kendo stick. She breaks it in half, and Alexa Bliss and Mickie James pretty much get the fuck out of there as Nia Jax just stares her down looking ferocious. It did lose heat for the feud, which is unfortunate. 40 D- for that, though. 56 C- rating here as we hype up the fact that Matt Hardy will take on Bo Dallas later on tonight. And we'll also see a look at the Kevin Owens-Braun Strowman feud, which apparently is coming up next. Must have been what Corey Graves said. Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, not Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt and Curtis Axel featured here. Not rated, but they're featured because they were on screen for the segment. 41 D rated segment here as we get a recap of Alexa Bliss's beatdown on Nia Jax with the kendo stick. 39 D- rating here as Charlie Caruso joins Nia Jax, interviewing her about what just happened. Nia Jax pretty much tells her, Bliss can't break her. Like, she can hit her with everything, but as she proved out there with the Singapore cane, she can break whatever Alexa Bliss hits her with, but Alexa Bliss can't break Nia Jax. But Nia Jax will and can break Alexa Bliss, and it'll happen this Sunday when she recaptures her Raw Women's Championship. I've been giving Nia Jax a lot of crap over these past couple of weeks. Let me adjust this mic real quick. You guys might hear me. But, because her promo skills are really bad, you can tell, she's reading pretty much her script off the top of her head. She's looking around, doesn't really know what she's doing. I will say, this one isn't, much better. I'm not going to say, she's improving tenfolds, but there is a little bit of improvement there. She is getting better. Maybe it's, a backstage environment helps her out, but it still feels kind of, her delivery with her lines just is really off, which is unfortunate for her. Apparently Natalya was still Nia Jax's manager, so that's my bad, but I guess a little bit of help can't harm her. 73 B- rating as we get a look at the feud between Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman. Pretty much showing Braun Strowman beat up on Kevin Owens all these past weeks, from Money in the Bank as he tossed him over the ladder, or off the ladder, I should say, beating him while he's injured, the whole porta potty incident, his whole car, just the whole feud, between the two men. And this leads to yet another 73 B- as Kevin Owens arrives for work despite being injured and despite having a doctor's note from his doctor. He's still here, and the only place he can think about, where Braun Strowman won't beat him up and he can hide from Braun Strowman is in Kurt Angle's office, so he's going to remain in Kurt Angle's office for the rest of the show. Okay, I was going to say, did I not press it? 44 solid D rating for our next match in an extremely short match. The rematch finally happens. Not exactly sure why it happened, but it happened. Mojo Rawley gave No Way Jose his rematch. Maybe they made a deal, but commentary didn't agree, say anything about this because the conga line did leave ringside. So maybe they made a deal to where the conga line couldn't have been there, but there was no storyline input on that. So I have no idea why Mojo gave him this rematch. Nonetheless, extremely short matchup here. Mojo Rawley goes over No Way Jose in 4 minutes 58 seconds with the hyperdrive. Not exactly sure if that's what he used, but sure. Mojo Rawley with an in-ring performance of a 42. No Way Jose with a 37. No worker improvements. 45 solid D rating here. I probably really shouldn't have hired MJ Jenkins. They got rid of Dr. Shelby, which to me is the biggest mistake they possibly could have done. In fact, this stupid friendship angle thing they're doing with Sasha Banks and Bayley is just stupid. Like, last week, we barely saw them interact with each other. And even when Dr. Shelby was there, he barely did anything at all. There should have been, I don't know, it's just, they're failing this angle. They're failing this angle. Apparently, Dr. Shelby left because it was too much for him. They brought in some female Amanda Waller-looking girl from, like, the Suicide Squad. I'm not saying MJ Jenkins looks like Amanda Waller, but she was the closest thing I had. And I figured she'd be, used a little bit more throughout the night. But nope, this was the only time we saw her. Or I guess the only time we saw, Sasha and Bayley's new counselor or whatever you want to call it. But, and this is really the only time this angle has anything special to it. Because every other instant between the angles here tonight of the whole friendship counseling or whatever you want to call it, you didn't even hear them talking. You just saw them talking and bickering. Whereas this one, you can at least hear Bayley expressing how, Sasha's never going to change and how it's always about Sasha Banks and this and that and this and that. So, there you have that. 45 solid D rating for the first of, I think 3 of the friendship angles. Nothing special. 67 C+ rating as Seth Rollins is about to make his way out towards the ring when he's confronted by Jinder Mahal and Sunil Singh, who I guess get Seth Rollins to try to do his chant with him. Like I said, or like I've mentioned in the past, I should say, Jinder Mahal now with a new gimmick of being some sort of hippie priest kind of thing going on. I think he says shaman or something like that. Shanti, yeah, Shanti. He goes Shanti, and he tries to get Seth to do it with him. Seth, he acts like he's gonna, but a second, Jinder and Sunil start, doing the Shanti. Seth pretty much dips as apparently Seth Rollins is next. 67 C+ for that. 52 D+ as we get hyped for the 30-minute Iron Man match this Sunday at Extreme Rules for the Intercontinental Championship between challenger Seth Rollins and champion Dolph Ziggler. Drew McIntyre, again, not rated, just featured because he was on the screen, but he's not rated in this angle. 71 B- rating here as Seth Rollins comes down to the ring. He hypes up the Iron Man match against Dolph Ziggler, which then leads to Dolph Ziggler interrupting him along with Drew McIntyre. Ziggler then hypes up the Intercontinental Championship match. Seth mocks Drew McIntyre throughout this. I can't really remember exactly what was said, and you guys can't honestly expect me to remember what was said in these promos. 3 hours of watching something, I'm going to forget what the promos. But anyway, he starts mocking Drew McIntyre. It pisses Drew off. I think he says something about a sheep. Yeah, he insinuates pretty much that Drew McIntyre has sex with sheep. This pisses Drew off. Leads to a challenge from him. Says, step up, Seth. Seth agrees. He steps up. Later on tonight, we'll see Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Got the crowd hot, too. So, good stuff. Seth Rollins is way over. In fact, now that I forgot to mention it, but even though Nia Jax was, the worst performer in our match, she was way over here tonight, too. When she got that hot tag from Natalia, good lord, that crowd erupted. 50 D+ rating as we hype up the fact that we will see Finn Balor team with Bobby Roode later on tonight to take on the Constable, Baron Corbin, and Elias. 60 solid C rating as the B team starts getting into character. We see Curtis Axel putting on his Matt Hardy wig and doing his thing. Bo Wyatt comes in, and Curtis Axel is all afraid, thinking it's the real Bray Wyatt, but Bo reveals it's him. And they get ready for the upcoming match between Bo Dallas and Matt Hardy. 41 solid D rating as we hype up the fact that Matt versus Bo Dallas is next. Bray and Curtis not rated, just featured on the screen. 64 solid seam as the B team solid C as the B team make their way down to the ring, kind of mocking the leaders of Worlds as they make their way down to the ring. They didn't cut a promo talking about the Belician and oh boy, Bo Dallas said oh yeah, he started talking about like food, like, and I got this side of potato salad over here and this side of this over here. So they're just mocking the DOW, and eventually Matt and Bray Wyatt interrupt them. They are on the screen. They say it's enough of the antics. You know, it's time to get serious pretty much. They're here, and the champs make their way towards the ring. Gained heat for the feud, so good stuff. All right, 55 C- rating here in a decent matchup. Bo Dallas goes over Matt Hardy in 8 minutes 9 seconds with the Bodog after a distraction from Curtis Axel and Bray Wyatt. I believe I put that in there. Yep. So Bray Wyatt pretty much going after Curtis Axel on the outside, which distracts Matt Hardy got these fucking hiccups. Temporarily, I believe Bo like rolled him up, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he hit him with a move, because I would have done a flash pinfall if it was. Did I do a flash pinfall in the game? Just decided not to. I said it. No, I didn't. So no, he hit him with something and won the match. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it was a neck breaker or something. Nonetheless, Bray Wyatt doing some good work ringside. Matt Hardy with an in-ring performance of a 57. Bo Dallas with a 43. No worker improvements. After the match is over, 61 solid C as the lights go out. The leaders of Worlds are on the outside of the ring, and they run back into the ring and start to brawl with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, and eventually chasing them out of the ring as they beat them down, and the DOW stands tall. Gained heat for the feud, 61 solid C. 57 C- as we get confirmation that Seth Rollins will take on Drew McIntyre later on tonight. 70 C+ as we get a recap of the Roman Reigns Bobby Lashley brawl from earlier tonight, and then we hype up the Extreme Rules match between Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns as well. 68 C+ as Renee Young interviews Bobby Lashley, who goes on to say that he has zero respect for Roman Reigns. Gained heat for the feud as well. Bobby Lashley's doing some good work here tonight. Very strong promo by Bobby Lashley as well, I might say. Again, I don't remember everything he had to say, but it's not often, you know, you hear a wrestler say, I have zero respect for somebody. Some of you guys might be scoffing at me like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we do, but we really don't. If you think about it, we hear a lot of wrestlers who, you know, do the whole benefit of doubt, be like, you know, like Seth, for instance. Seth will be like, I respect the hell out of Dolph, but I don't like the performer he is, or something like that. Whereas Bobby Lashley straight up says, I don't respect Roman Reigns. I have zero respect for him. And you know what? I have respect for everybody I've ever stepped in the ring with. But I don't respect Roman Reigns. Maybe that'll change Sunday, but as of right now, I don't respect him. I have zero respect for the man. Like I said, guys, I'm really enjoying this feud between them. 50 D+ as Tyler Breeze, no Fandango. Tyler Breeze backstage giving fashion tips to Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan of the Riot Squad. I guess Ruby Riot's injured or something. I think that's what they said. But the Riot Squad doesn't do fashion, and they leave pretty much. Nothing special here. It's interesting how the Riot Squad's been interacting with like people backstage. Like first it was Elias, now it's, you know, Tyler Breeze. Like what's going on here? 34 E+ as we hype up the fact that coming up next, we have a rematch from last week as Ember Moon will take on Liv Morgan of the Riot Squad. Sarah Logan, not rated, just featured. 41 solid D, once again, just, you know, going over the therapy with Sasha and Bayley. I couldn't tell you what happened, though, because they were just kind of there. And no counselor. It just showed, I think it was Sasha talking, but you couldn't hear a damn word she was saying because the commentators were just talking over it the entire time. Big Break John coming through once again with the 100 A-star for our pointless commercial break. Thank you as always, John. All right. 45 solid D as we hype up Ronda Rousey's Hall of Fame induction into the UFC. And then we recap the Bliss beatdown on Nia Jax with the kendo stick. 50 D+ as we go backstage with Alexa Bliss, who hypes up her Extreme Rules match, not watch, Extreme Rules match with Nia Jax, and you know, puts over the fact how she gets to beat down Nia Jax with everything she wants, and Ronda Rousey's just going to be sitting there the whole time watching her beat up Nia Jax, so she pretty much can send the message towards Rousey as well. Gained heat for the women's feud as well. Good stuff, Alexa. How'd I confuse the two? 37 D- as we get a recap of Ember Moon versus Liv Morgan from last week. And then we jump into the match. 41 solid D rating here for match 2. And about that didn't have much Wayne Eaton. Terrible wrestling to it. Ember Moon goes over Liv Morgan in 7 minutes, 7 seconds with the quick roll-up. So this was a fat flash pinfall. No eclipse or anything. Ember Moon pulls it out just by the chin of her, or the hair on her chinny chin, I guess is what we could say. Sarah Logan doing some good work ringside. Ember Moon with an in-ring performance of a 40. Liv Morgan with a 34. Liv Morgan did look pretty good in this match. I will say she looks like she has been improving, by the way. Ember Moon, though, is improving in performance. 56 C- as Renee Young gets an interview with Finn Balor and Bobby Roode. Balor puts over the fact that he's twice as good as Constable Corbin is, despite what Corbin says. And Roode puts over the fact that they will not only be victorious, but they will be glorious as they do it. Lost heat for the feud, unfortunately, with Corbin and Balor. 48 D+ as we hype up that Balor and Bobby Roode will take on the Constable, Baron Corbin, and Elias, and that match is next. 66 C+ rating as Kurt is backstage with Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens is talking about it, it being stinky back here or something, and he's spraying something. Kurt puts over that it didn't stink before you came in here, and then that's when Dolph and Drew come in, and Kurt wanted to talk to Drew before his match against Seth Rollins, and he announces that, Drew, if you lose tonight against Seth Rollins, you'll be banned from ringside this Sunday in the Extreme Rules. Kevin Owens isn't happy about it. Dolph Ziggler's not happy about it, but Drew says, you know what, lads? I got this. So Drew McIntyre not backing down from a challenge, as we now have that added stipulation I hinted at in the beginning of the video, where if Drew McIntyre does lose to Seth Rollins, he will be banned from ringside this Sunday during the Iron Man match between Dolph and Seth. 62 solid C. Ladies and gentlemen, Elias. Elias is in the ring. He's been gone for 2 weeks. Hasn't performed for anybody, but tonight he's going to perform. And for Boston, he starts performing. He talks shit about Balor during his song. He talks shit about Bobby Roode. He talks shit about Boston. Interesting thing before I move on to the actual match and all that. The fact that poor Bobby Roode and Elias, they just can't get past each other. Like, they were feuding not too long ago, and here they are, haven't been doing much of anything. Money in the Bank is gone. Elias had his Intercontinental Championship match. And here they are back again, fighting each other. He calls out the Constable Baron Corbin, impressed by Elias, wants to sing a song of his own. And they start to sing, I think it was like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something, but no, it was the Itsy Bitsy Spider. That's what it was. It was the Itsy Bitsy Spider, but instead of a spider, it being, the Itsy Bitsy Balor. Of course, putting over how small Finn Balor is and all that. So, God, Corbin's a horrible singer, by the way. He was eventually cut off by Finn Balor as we jump into our tag team matchup. 58 C-, excuse me, as we get hyped for Extreme Rules once again, this time Finn Balor taking on the Constable, Baron Corbin, this Sunday. Alright, 63 solid C for our tag team matchup here. In a decent match, Elias and the Constable, Baron Corbin, going over Finn Balor and Bobby Roode in 14 minutes, 56 seconds, when Constable, Baron Corbin pins Bobby Roode with the End of Days. Finn Balor carried this match in terms of in-ring performance, and this was a fun match. Very back and forth. It looked like it could go either way. I'm glad it went to Baron Corbin and Elias, though, because for one, I like Elias, and two, I felt like Corbin needed to win more than Balor, probably because Balor's going to win at the pay-per-view, too, when you think about it. Unfortunately for Corbin, though, despite him needing the win, he didn't deserve it because he was really off his game tonight. Come on, Baron. Baron Corbin with an in-ring performance of a 47, the worst. Elias with a 51. Bobby Roode with a 53. And, of course, Finn Balor with a 64, the best of the match. Bobby Roode is improving in performance, as is Finn Balor. 74 B-, as apparently, I don't remember why Braun Strowman came backstage. Maybe it was for Kurt Angle to confirm the match. But Braun Strowman enters Kurt Angle's office. Kevin Owens starts freaking out, pretty much, trying to get Braun to stay away from him. Kurt Angle puts over, or confirms, I should say, that at Extreme Rules, it'll be Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens in a steel cage match. Kevin Owens isn't happy about it, but it's happening. 74 B- for that. 52 D+ as we hype up Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, which will take place tonight. Dolph Ziggler featured, but not rated. 34 E+ as therapy continues with Bayley and Banks. Again, I've got no idea what was going on in here. We couldn't understand a damn word they were saying because I believe the commentators were talking over it, but there they go. Nothing special. 73 B- as we get yet another recap from earlier tonight of the Roman Reigns Bobby Lashley brawl. 52 D+ as Roman Reigns joins Renee Young this time, and she asked him about Bobby Lashley. Reigns says that Bob can be the guy somewhere else, pretty much, putting over the fact that he is the guy and Bobby Lashley isn't the guy to beat him, pretty much. And if Bobby Lashley wants to be the guy, he'll have to go somewhere else, pretty much, I guess, hinting that Impact or something is what I would think. But come on, Roman. Bobby Lashley gets us a C+ and you get us a D+, losing heat to the feud? This is your fault, big dog. The hell's your problem? 49 D+ as we get hyped for Extreme Rules. In fact, I think there's going to be 3 of these rated things because it's this Sunday, so they're pretty much hyping up all the matches. So part 1 of Extreme Rules hype, we hype up that we will see Roman Reigns take on Bobby Lashley. Alexa Bliss defending her Raw Women's Championship against Nia Jax in an Extreme Rules match. AJ Styles defending his WWE Championship against Rusev on Rusev Day of all days. Asuka challenging Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then afterwards, for part 2, we get a 57 C- as we hype up that the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, defend the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane. Jeff Hardy will defend his United States Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. And Seth Rollins challenges Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship in a 30-minute Iron Man match. And then finally, for part 3, 52 D+, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, the leaders of Worlds, defend their Raw Tag Team Championships against the B Team, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Finn Balor battles the Constable, Baron Corbin, and in a steel cage match, Kevin Owens will face the Monster Among Men, Mr. Monster in the Bank, Braun Strowman. Only this, catch it this Sunday live on the WWE Network. I messed that up. I wanted to be funny. Nonetheless, main event of the night, 67 C+ rating, and a decent matchup here. Drew McIntyre goes over Seth Rollins in 20 minutes, 49 seconds with the Claymore kick after a distraction from Dolph Ziggler. Seth Rollins with an in-ring performance of a 70. Drew McIntyre with a 57. Total Extreme Wrestling does not give this match justice. I would have rated this match at least a B-, but probably a solid B. Drew and Seth went back and forth. Good stuff. I'd honestly like to see them get it on a pay-per-view and see what they can do, given more times and, a little bit more at stake, I guess. But good little preview for the future, hopefully. Nonetheless, Drew's not really as over yet, so that's why I'd imagine it didn't do too well. But 67 C+ isn't too bad, I guess. No worker improvements, though. But the match ends pretty much with, as I said, with distraction of Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler gets up on through the up on the apron, I should say, and Seth takes him out. I think he even hits him with a curb stomp. But this distraction led to Drew McIntyre being able to hit the Claymore kick. 1, 2, 3. Drew is he's not banned from ringside, but I can promise you one thing: he'll definitely be ringside this Sunday. And unfortunately for Seth, he's just gonna have to deal with it. All right, so we end off the show, and what do we get for Raw this week? Solid 80 B rating for Monday Night Raw. Again, not sure how, but I'm done questioning it. Increasing our popularity in 22 regions. Good stuff, good stuff. Extreme Rules is this Sunday, though, so, it'll be interesting to see how it does. I think this might be our first pay-per-view after we drop down to a Colt company. I don't remember where we were for Money in the Bank. I could be wrong, and maybe we were a Colt company when we were Money in the Bank as well. But if not, this will be our first. If I am wrong, then I am wrong. Nonetheless, though, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you have not already. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your friends, Facebooks, Twitters, Instagrams. I don't give a dams. All the social media accounts out there. Help your boy out by giving that button a share. And, maybe help your homeboy get some new subscribers. In fact, if you got a buddy you feel would enjoy my content, go ahead and give them a share again and help see get some subscribers up in this bitch. I've got buddies of myself. You can check them down below in the description. I highly recommend checking out Raging Yoshi here on YouTube. Very active Let's Player. Just started a new Let's Play of Cave Story. Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. He's doing some playthrough with a couple of his buddies. I think it's called Tower something. I forget. I got a lot going on that channel. Check him out. And then, of course, you got my buddy ZachManziNVO over on Twitch. If you ever want to check out someone live streaming, check out my buddy ZachManziNVO. He's streaming Overwatch, Battlefield, wrestling games. He's active about every day around, you know, I don't know what time but he streams for about 2 hours a day. So check him out as well. That is going to be the end, though. I hope you guys have enjoyed. My name has been OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB, and I will see you guys for 205 Live and SmackDown Live. Have a great day.